The latest short circuit that I have watched is Just a Thought, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was very sweet. Just a Thought is, I believe, the fifth or sixth one that I've seen, and is probably in my top two. I think my other favourite one just now is Lucky Toupee. Just a Thought was written and directed by Brian Menz. If you're unaware of what the Short Circuit series is, basically employees at Disney get to write and direct their own short films. They get full creative control or thereabouts. They have to come up with the idea, etc. And Brian Menz was particularly interested in creating something with the kind of classic comic strip style, with the kind of little dots. And that is certainly what is represented. And in terms of this coming across in animation, it works really well. I'm just looking at some of the pictures on IMDb just now, and I have to say they don't actually portray it as well as when it's in animation. It looks so much better when there's actually movement, um, which is really impressive, and I think it's done very well. I don't know how difficult that is to do movement where it's basically just a bunch of dots to get everything lined up constantly. Maybe it's easy, I don't know, but it looks very good. And Just a Thought is addressing the idea of what would it be like if everybody could see your thoughts. And this happens with our protagonist. He is at school. He is at a, I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but I guess he's about 13. And we can see his thoughts. And his thoughts are primarily focusing on one of his classmates, a girl of whom he is clearly enamoured. And people obviously see these thought bubbles and make fun of him, and it's cringeworthy for him. It's distressing for him. He's very, very embarrassed. And I have to say, there are a few times when his cheeks go very pink, and I love the way they did it. It just looks so natural as it can do for this kind of animation. And I won't, will I say how it ends? No, I won't say how it ends, but I'll say it was a very sweet message, I guess, about not knowing what the other people are thinking. And that is the only thing that I kind of questioned when watching it. Why can we see his thoughts but nobody else's thoughts throughout this? Is it just like a curse that he's had? It would have been interesting if they maybe made a bit more effort with putting in other people's thoughts, but at the same time it would have taken attention away from his thoughts. So I can kind of see why they didn't. I guess there's just the assumption there that the audience knows that other people may have thought bubbles, but they're not embarrassing. He's the one who is sticking out like a sore thumb because of the nature of his thought bubbles. So it's not really a big issue. I thought it was very sweet. I really like the animation style. I think the facial expressions are really, really cute. Very enjoyable. It's a lovely little message that I don't think is too prominent. It doesn't really force it in your face too much about saying you never know what other people are thinking and how it may interact with your thoughts. But you can read that message into it if you want to. It's sweet. It's not the most, complex. There are a couple of, for example, I think the first one I watched was one called Puddles, which is all about this little boy who's trying to show his sister that there's this entire world under the puddles, and she's just looking at her phone, and it's all about, viewing the world around you. Look how much you can miss out on if you stick to technology and don't pay attention. This one, I think, is just a little bit more straightforward and kind of gives us an appreciation that we don't have to share all of our thoughts with the world. But if we do, maybe good things can happen. I enjoyed it. Just a Thought is an absolute delight and definitely worth watching.